you look at people and they had their vegetables, they went and they, went to this restaurant and they had the okra that was, cooked for 17 hours and they got their vegetables. And as you know, that does nothing to do with nutrients or anything else. Broccoli, because I like it to be crisp, right? But I put my greens, I put my vegetables in an air fryer for 30 seconds. 30 seconds. What it does is it heats it, wilts it, and then I pull it out, right? No water gets into it, nothing. It's all moist. It's like all the water that's supposed to be in there is in there. All the nutrients, I keep it because...
Yeah, it's waterless. Yeah.
But it's interesting what you said with the... a lot of people, when they do get the symptom, and, they don't understand that the body isn't, and this is something that, I've always found or just looked at, is that, as long as our head doesn't get in the way, the elimination won't last. If the head starts thinking about it, the elimination will last 3 times longer than it's supposed to last. How come I can't get rid of this cold? I've had this cold for weeks because he keeps thinking about it. The cold is just, as you put it very well, all this stuff is just your body saying, on a deeper level, which I'm interpreting, on a deeper level, it actually is healing something more so than making you sick. But yet our systematic way of medicine in this country is that we don't look at the fact that we're eliminating, we're looking at the fact that we're sick and we must do something to mask that sickness. So with that in mind, then what initiated, propelled the line of exploration of accelerated self-healing? Because I think that's a really good segue to the next question, because, if people are following, which they should be, the next time you don't feel good, think of it as an accelerated self-healing on a much deeper level. Think of what you needed to eliminate, and it is going to come out one way or the other. It's going to come out with your nose, it's going to come out through your butt, it's going to come out through your, whatever. It's just going to sweat it out. You're going to have fever. So what initiated and propelled this line of exploration of accelerated self-healing for you?
So a big factor was, I mentioned how I was researching all different kinds of alternative medicine. The huge breakthrough for me came in studying with a naturopath from Canada in the field of European biological medicine. Energy medicine. I had a mouthful of silver amalgam fillings, so I knew there was a lot of mercury in there, and I suspected that that was a problem. That maybe that was even part of the underlying problem with my vision. And so I did trace mineral hair analysis. No mercury showed up in the hair. When my mentor tested me electronically, measuring my body's response to mercury energetically, said, this is a real problem because you are a non-excreter. And it's like, that's true. My body was not excreting mercury in the hair, and that's an excretion tissue. Urine didn't show mercury. That's an excretion tissue. So I know it's coming out of these fillings. There's 14 of them. They're huge. Yeah. I've had them for years and years. And so it's building up in my tissues. It's going to the eye. We know from studies in Sweden, the lens of the eye stores mercury longer than any other tissue in the body. We know it goes to the brain. We know it goes to the pancreas. That was a big place affected for me. The thyroid gets a higher level of mercury from the dental source than any other tissue. So it's going everywhere in the body. And my body was not strong enough to eliminate it. So it was just piling up. So the blood tests, related blood tests called bioelectronics of Inson. It measures the physics of the blood, the electrons, the protons, and the ions that carry energy in the blood. And that study, compared to hundreds of thousands of people that have been studied for the last 100 years, mostly in Europe, as the people were sick or healthy or becoming sick, comparing to the clinical population, my blood showed that I was going to die of a stroke. I was about 30 years old, and I had less than 10 years life expectancy based on my blood tests. So that, our bodies are always healing, always doing their best to heal with what they have available, what they're facing and what resources they have. So the only way to overcome that is to heal faster than you're falling apart. So I was like an old person in my 30s, like, I need to rejuvenate. I need to cleanse my body. I need to get out the source. So it took a year to change all those fillings with non-toxic materials and support the cleansing of the body during that time. And the same process then we've applied to tens of thousands of people since then and help people to overcome, like, I didn't die in my 30s of a stroke. I did have some transient ischemic attacks, which are small strokes, where lose part of my vision temporarily. Sometimes couldn't remember my own name or my phone number that was the same number since childhood. So some definitely notable symptoms. Friends would say, "Well, you're getting older." Oh, yeah, that kind of thing happens to me too. I'm in my 30s. You're getting older. So wait a minute. Age is not a cause. That's like saying space-time is the cause. Yeah, let's get a little more specific because we can't do anything about time, but we can change our biological age. At that time, my biological age at age 30 was like in my 60s. And then a few years later, when I was working at a naturopathic school on the West Coast, studying and teaching there, a classmate had the same instrument and was able to test me. And I was then, like, my biological age was a couple of years younger than my chronological age. So identified the source, remove the cause of the problem. Step one, if you can. You can't, it's not always possible, but sometimes, like in my case, there's a specific thing that we're doing to ourselves that is aging us faster than our body can heal and repair and rejuvenate.